Viewers live now to Collingwood. On your screen is Helena Guergis, and we'll listen into what she has to say about these latest revelations.
He went further to say that he was referring information to the RCMP, and I would sit outside of caucus pending an investigation. As you all know, for over a year, I've been trying to get to the bottom of this whole sordid affair in order for my constituents to really know what happened to their democratically elected Member of Parliament. You are also aware that Mr. Harper failed to disclose any detail of these allegations to me or the public, even after the constituents of Simcoe Grey demanded answers. In fact, on a number of occasions, I pleaded with Mr. Harper to tell me what he thought I had done wrong in order to be able to address these allegations head-on and to be able to defend myself. Unfortunately, he refused. Even after making the Access to Information request under the Privacy Act, the government has gone out of its way to restrict access to this basic information. I've included a copy of the letter for review in your media package. Fortunately for the people of Simcoe Grey, the RCMP has used its discretionary powers to release the contents of the report to me, and I promised my constituents from the very beginning that I would share this information with them if it ever became available, because Mr. Harper would not. The details of this report are extremely disturbing. It has demonstrated that there was a concerted effort to perpetrate lies and smear my good name. If only Mr. Harper had taken the time to be open about the allegations that were presented to him and had given me a chance to confront them, much hardship could have been avoided. Instead, it has now been confirmed to me by many of you in the media that it was the Prime Minister's Office Communications Office that was on a destructive campaign perpetrating these false allegations that have damaged my reputation. This, of course, is the worst kind of politics, the kind that Canadians abhor. Not only was it made to seem that I was guilty of conduct that has never been disclosed to me, going against the very core of what our principles of justice are built on, the Prime Minister's office still made it seem as though I was guilty of something even after I had been proven innocent. What is the most disappointing thing about this whole situation is the question of why, even after the RCMP disclosed to Mr. Harper's office that there was no substance to these allegations, that they wouldn't want to make things right. So I ask you, did Mr. Harper's office do the right thing? Canadians believe the right thing is to respect due process. They believe the right thing is to respect democracy. They believe the right thing is to take responsibility when you've made a mistake and not try to cover things up. These values are Canadian values, and they constitute the right thing. I know this has been a very difficult process for the constituents in Simcoe Grey, as they have wanted to trust in their leader and they wanted to take the Prime Minister at his word. I don't have to tell you all about the nightmare that my family endured over the past year as a result of the treatment from those I served so loyally to for years. The damage is real. It is deep, and it is permanent. Imagine waking up every day for months, seeing headlines and stories that have no basis in reality, attacking your credibility and everything that you have worked so hard for, and having to face the public under this type of unfair scrutiny and pressure. It was no secret for the entire time that I was dealing with this mess that I was pregnant. Women tell me that pregnancy is a very happy time and one that should be enjoyed free of stress. I wish I could share that sentiment. But the real miracle is the fact that after all, I have been blessed with a happy and healthy son, Xavier, who I'm hoping that you can meet after this news conference. And after the birth of my son, my resolve to seek re-election as an independent Conservative was strengthened. And while Mr. Harper has chosen to ignore my loyalty and my years of commitment to Simcoe Grey, I believe that my constituents know me and they trust me. The title of Independent Conservative was given to me by the House of Commons after I was undemocratically removed from caucus. What has happened is wrong, and judging by the significant anger directed towards the Prime Minister over the handling of this situation and the overwhelming support and encouragement that I've received from my community, I am standing up for myself, I am standing up for my constituents, and I am standing up for the democratic principles that we all cherish. I know the constituents of Simcoe Grey, as most Canadians, believe in fairness, they believe in honesty, and they believe in democracy. By re-electing me, it will send a very strong message that they will not tolerate such unacceptable behavior from our political leadership in Canada. I'd like to turn it over to Andy Baudouin, if I may. Obviously, I have given this to my lawyers, but I'm not sure what my process will be. I'm focused right now on an election, on running on my record and the accomplishments for Simcoe Grey right now.
Stephen Harper has said that he doesn't want an individual, you, in caucus, and saying, you know, perhaps you can hang around with shady people, and that the perception generally isn't very good on this. What do you say to that?
I'd say he's been proven wrong, and he needs to accept and respect the RCMP and the processes that we have in this country, including the justice system.
Do you feel you're faultless in this case? Are you, I mean, considering the Conservative Party looks at you as sort of a political liability?
None of these allegations are true in any size, shape, or form.
If you had been the Prime Minister, what would you have done with allegations like that?
I would have respected the justice system, and I would have taken my employee in, and I would have told them exactly what they had been accused of, and I would have given them the opportunity to defend themselves. And I certainly would not have sent my staff out to spin to the media that I have done all of these things.
How hard is it for you when you
Thank
see
you.
Derek Snowdy says that you have in your possession other documents that you have not yet released.
Yes.
That if you do release, may be unflattered to. Do you have those documents, and when do you plan to release them?
Let me say to you, there's nothing else that can be said about me any more unflattering than all of the stuff that's been in the media for the past year. I think everyone would agree. Within the documents that I've been given, you can appreciate that there are privacy concerns. I had to go through the Privacy Act to have the names of the people who were interviewed released to me, and I can't release those at this stage. But I am committed as we go through this and be able to go through the entire document for what we have received to be able to release things further. But everything I've released to you is pertinent. Everything is exactly, it's really, this is it. This is the gist of what's in there.
Helena, he says that there's a communication between him and the RCMP.
I have nothing from Derek Snowdy. There was no testimony, nothing whatsoever. It was redacted. You need to remember one thing here, and in your press package, there's a letter, and it's from the RCMP to me. The government invoked the Privacy Act and did not give anything, and I did not get one thing from the 4 departments that were a part of this investigation, and I did not get any testimony from Derek Snowdy whatsoever in that package.
You said he offered to twice meet with your lawyer early on.
To meet with my lawyer?
Said he had information saying he had nothing to do with these allegations.
That's news to me. That's news to me.
The allegations are certainly sensational. Tell us about your reaction when you first read them, specifically the one which suggested that you were quote-unquote snorting cocaine off a prostitute's breast.
Yeah, it was really emotional for me to have to go through that, and I've been working through the last 2 weeks to get the strength up to be able to stand in front of you today. The last year was really hard as well. I was shocked.
When you read something specific like that,
I just don't know how he could have believed anything like that.
We're going to take 2 more questions from the floor, please, and then if you want to speak to Helena afterwards, please come and see me. Okay? So, next question.
Ms. George,
Please, 1 sec. Go ahead.
Thank you. What kind of impact do you think, or do you hope this will have on your campaign?
I think what's most important here is that my constituents have been asking why. They've been asking, what is it I'm supposed to have done wrong? And I believe that they deserve an answer to that question. It's my responsibility, regardless of what's happened to me, it's my responsibility to stand up for them and find them answers to their questions. They elected me, and that's what I'm embarking upon, and that's what I'm hoping that they can get from some of this today.
You think they have the answers they need?
I think that they can see very clearly what's happened here. I think so.
Ms. George, you said you're a conservative, you believe in conservative
I
platform.
do, yeah.
You just stood there and referred to the Conservative leader is somebody who's undemocratic. You don't think people should vote for him, so how do you reconcile your conservative beliefs and your view of the guys leading the party?
I'm a conservative. I have been my entire adult life, through and through. I believe in the values and the principles of the party, and that is never going to change. Because I have some problems with a few of the people in the leadership, that does not paint all conservatives. It does not paint the entire caucus in the same brush in any size, shape, or form.
But do you think Canadians should vote for a man who's
That's a decision. That's a decision that they'll have to make. He has to answer. He ran on a campaign of being accountable to Canadians, and he has to be accountable for this behavior. That's for them to decide. I'm putting the information out there for them because they are entitled to it. And if they want someone to stand up for justice, and if they can't trust the political leadership in the country to stand up for justice, to stand up, to be able to trust them, who will do it and who can they trust?
Mr. If he's not accountable, why don't you just say he's not worthy of being elected?
That's for you and for the other people to determine.
But Mr. Baudouin just said, just one more question. Mr. Baudouin said that there was something, if this were true, there was something stunningly sick about party leadership. Is there something stunningly sick about Stephen Harper?
He's right here. He can answer. He can answer the question for you. There's no doubt that I have my difficulties with how he's handled this situation. There's no doubt about that. I think that's pretty clear. It's disheartening.
Would you want back in the caucus?
I intend on finding my way back into my conservative family, but perhaps under a different leader.
Thank you very much, everybody. If you want to
This is Xavier. Say hi, buddy. He's a little tired, I think. Hey. Thank you.
Former Conservative cabinet minister who was removed from her portfolio.